Hello and welcome, Janet Beckers here. We're up to video number 2 in the mini-series on 15 things that I believe that are the foundations that we build our business on. They are the framework we go back to as a benchmark. Are we actually walking our talk? Now, you may want to do something really similar. It's something that I help my clients do in my Attract Your Tribe programs, and it's really working out what are your core values and beliefs. So you can see mine if you go over to romanceyourtribe.com and then have a look for the About Us. You'll see the list of 15 things we believe. And my challenge to you is to do something like this yourself. It doesn't have to be 15, it could be 5. But you'll see that these are things that you go back to and you use those to go, is this really what we're doing in the business? Can we do that a little bit better? So that you're using it as your test all the time. And it's really nice to make it public because it helps to communicate to potential clients and your own clients, this is the kind of business that we are part of, but it also keeps you accountable. So that's why it's good to do it public. So today we're going to be looking at number 2. And number 2 is, you know what, I believe you cannot build a successful business on your own. You just can't do it. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're very independent and we will just go, I can do this on my own. But you know what? You can't. Now, we do this in a couple of different ways. One of those is within the business itself, we're always looking at ways for us to be able to provide that support for people. So are there ways that I can help people to be able to find people that they can be working with, or software and things that's going to make it easier for them? But also, are we providing a place for people to be able to communicate? Now, at the time of me recording this, we're just in the, we're probably about a month or so out of launching the Attract Your Tribe Mastermind, which I'm really excited about. So, and that's come about because I looked at number 2 and I thought, you know what, we can do better. We need to find a way to make it easy for our clients to communicate with each other. So that's one thing. Now, the other part is also building a support team. You know, you need to be able to outsource. That's why we have in our programs, how can you outsource? How can you get teams? How do you manage them? But so now let's have a look at what this means for you. And there's 2 questions that I want to ask yourself. Now, number 1 is, do you have anybody that's helping you, or are you trying to do everything yourself? If you're trying to do everything yourself, you've got to get somebody to help you. And that doesn't mean that you have to bring somebody on full time. When I first got my very first virtual assistant, I could only afford her for 12 hours a week. That was it. And then I just, as more money started coming in, I could increase her hours. But to start with, really, that was the equivalent of not even 2 full days for her. So, just start off with the minimum, but get help. Now, the second one I want to talk to you about is, how can you get support yourself? How do you create your support network? Who do you talk to? Now, of course, one of those ways is going to be through the mastermind that we are launching. And at the time, I'm not quite sure. I batch videos, I batch everything. So I'm not quite sure when you will be seeing this video, but I do hope that the mastermind has already launched. If not, just send me an email and say, where is that girl? So that is going to be one way. But there are other ways that you can be doing this independently, okay? So one of those is a mastermind can be one person. It's not the ideal, but you can have one person who you can talk to, that you can run ideas by, like a business best friend. Now, if you don't have a business bestie, then start looking within either your local area, start going to networking events, start talking to people who run businesses, or find them through Facebook groups, through those sorts of ways. Is find somebody who you can pair up with. Now, they've got to be in business and they've got to understand the kind of business that you're trying to set up, because otherwise it's not going to work. But you can do it in that way. That was one of the very first sort of mastermind things that I did. I had an accountability buddy and we did that for about a year. It worked really, really well. Now, and the next one you might do is you might decide that you're going to have a local networking group. Now, start going to different local networking groups and find the people who you think, you know what, I can feel there's a circle of trust. And you want to try to get about 4 or 5 people. So for years, I was part of a group that we joined. Actually, after going to a networking event that we thought, honestly, we can do better than that. So we decided that we were going to create our own, and it was only these 5 people. We called ourselves the Fab Five, and we met for breakfast every 2 weeks, and there was a circle of trust, and we discussed business in there. Everybody was in business, different stages, very different businesses, but all in business doing stuff. And that was great. People started moving on to different towns and things and different businesses, and eventually it has its own life, but I think we did it for about 5 years. So that is one way. It might be virtual. Like once a month I get together with girlfriends and we're all around the world, and we're all in business, and we share what's working and what's not working. But we've got people we can run ideas by. So you can create this yourself. Just decide what your rules are for what does it take to be part of that group, and decide the characteristics of the type of people, and then you can actually proactively create that. Another way you can do that is purchase something that gives that mastermind. I've actually spent tens of thousands of dollars, and then you put the travel on top. We're talking probably close to $100,000 on being part of a high-end mastermind, and absolutely fantastic to do that because you're buying into a group that somebody else has already curated, and it's the people who are in that group that are important. So that would be one way that you can do that, where you can be getting a mastermind in that way. The girlfriends that I meet with once a month, we actually were from that group. When that program no longer ran, we formed our own little group. Now, another one that you can do is my Attract Your Tribe Accelerator program. If you're bringing in under 100K in your business, if you're bringing over 100, then we have the Tribal Business Leaders group. Now, they're curated, so everybody gets interviewed before they're accepted into the group. So you know that people are going to be, they're in that group because they're stepping up. They're actually committed to do the work. And so if people aren't at that level, then they're not accepted into that program. That's another great way that you can tap into a ready-made mastermind, and you get to mastermind with me in this group every single week. So that's another way that you can do it. So my challenge to you is choose one of these ways, but get a support group. It's so lonely in business. It really is. And most people just don't get it. So don't just be a passive victim of that. Like, take control, baby. So if you need support, and you will need support, find whichever of these methods works best for you and just make it happen. And it could just be one business bestie, and it's going to make a huge difference to what you're going to be doing in your business, because you cannot be building a business on your own. It's too hard. Okay. I'll see you in the next video on this series, and we're going to be looking at number 3 in the list of the 15 things that I believe in business. Now, if you want some help with that, this is what I do. So just send me a message, an email, leave a comment. Tell me, tell me a bit about your business and what your goals are, and I'll come back and let you know the best way that I can help you. Okay, go get them, folks.